I'm doing a mini session for one of my patrons. If any of you are interested in checking out my Patreon community, you can do so at patreon.com/Abbey Normal's Wisdom Quest. All right, so a Patreon mini session, there's no specific goal, so I'm going to go as guided by spirit. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today. Thank you so much for being a part of Patreon with me and with others. And thank you too for sharing here on YouTube. All right, let's see what your guides, higher self, what the universe would like to share with you today. Okay. Hmm. It's hard to make sense of it. There's a wall, okay? It seems like it's straight ahead, but it's kind of like moving slightly. So it's cutting off more of my path, okay? There's this other wall that goes back and forth, and it just sort of slices through the air like this. And it's like a metallic golden shine to everything. And it feels like a complicated path where it's not necessarily easy to see. So you're basically standing in kind of a triangle shaped space. It's not a whole lot of room here. And so, how are you going to move forward when this wall is kind of cutting you off and then this wall is sliding back and forth like this? It just can't really go anywhere. So, you're kind of waiting for things to move in a different way so you can move as well. And you're wondering if maybe you're missing something, like maybe what I think is me moving forward is actually I need to be looking, maybe I'm missing a detail, missing a clue. Maybe this is a sign that I've reached kind of a dead end in this direction. Maybe I need to look in another direction. Yeah, you're open minded to any ideas. I mean, you're open minded because you sit down and you say, okay, show me some other ideas. I don't have to go just one way. I'm open to going anyway. And the walls that are kind of controlling your path, when they hear this, they don't like it. And they kind of get a little bit louder and more annoying at trying to cut you off on moving forward. But you're not intimidated. You're not upset about it. You're just ignoring that, which gives you a place of power. But I do see one of these walls is kind of determined to be felt, to be experienced, to be annoying. Like it wants to be annoying for you. The one that goes back and forth, it's not as bright or as clever. It's not able to come up with any other ideas. So all it can do is ever go back and forth. It's not wanting to upset you the way this other wall that's just sort of leaning, sort of going more diagonally inward. I mean, that wall wants to upset you. This one going back and forth doesn't. It just, but doesn't necessarily want to change, and it doesn't mind that it's challenging your path either. So I've apparently giving you a lot of ideas because you're already standing up and you've absorbed and thought and processed some new directions. And what you do is you push back on this wall, and as you push back on this wall, it's actually kind of, it's basically like the like hands on a clock. I mean, it just goes around the other way. So you're pushing it and forcing the other side of it to actually push you forward. And this one going back and forth, just it can just keep doing that because it's not really a problem unless this one is relentless and going to close in on you. you're proud of yourself for thinking of this idea. It's not necessarily what I had said, apparently, but a combination of time and processing different ideas gave you this one. And you actually smile and say, of course you're a part of me coming up with this idea. Like everything was a part of it. That's really neat that you say it like that. I mean, you're acknowledging that ideas come from everywhere, everyone, everything, and that you have listening ears and you're ready to receive some new ideas. Process it. So you're choosing to be aware and acknowledging and very kind about it. So you've moved past this obstacle, and I don't feel fulfilled, you know? I feel kind of bleh, kind of mopey. I feel like I want to sleep in the sand. I want to bury myself into the sand and then cover myself with sand, and I want to fall asleep. I'm going to just set that aside, and I'm going to check on a bigger picture here for your energy field. And when I do that, I notice that I'm looking at your spine, and there's some packed energy here. And it's not easy for you to work on this one because you don't have eyes in the back of your head. It's not always this easy to see everything. There's some resistance in what I'm going to do next, which is unplug some jams on the back side of all your chakras. It's just like popping out a little bit of Play-Doh, okay? And then I'm just peeling a strip of energy off as well. Boy, there's more. All right, I'm going to go to your crown chakra from behind. Oh, wow. What do I make of this? So where is your human self at? So it's sort of like there's your human form, but you're walking through dimensions that are connected to each other. And when I step back and I see, okay, well, let me just remove this, clear this out, try to open things to get things flowing, because it's just a bit jammy, you know, with all these connected dimensions, it's just kind of holding you tight. And then as I kind of look around, it's like, my God, you're kind of, I mean, there's big energies here that are so connected to each other that it's going to be hard for you to really move. I mean, the gravity of everything, you know? And me going to your crown, it's almost like this, for some reason, I'm attracted to your crown as though it's going to loosen up. It's going to loosen these connections up for you. Just wound tight. Crown isn't very talkative. Doesn't want me to come inside either. So I'm just going to project myself inside and just leave my density behind. And it's a smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller space. And it's very quiet in here. We don't want to create any vibrations, and we don't want to create any disruptions. And it's almost like a padded room inside a padded room inside a padded room. And with all this silence, it's almost like the ultimate meditation. But what it's doing is just blocking out information. And it's not really rejoicing in the silence. It's actually creating a space inside a space inside a space inside a space. And it's not allowing energy and information just flow everywhere all at the same time. But your crown consciousness is not wanting me to alter this at all. It feels like that's a threat. It's very protective of this. And I show your crown that, maybe it's this inside of thing going on here that's attracting all this density and gravity, and it's just maybe compacting you in energetically. It makes sense why there would be a parallel between what I'm seeing in your crown and what I'm seeing as a bigger picture of your energy field and your ability to just move, move through move along the path, okay, of your life. Your crown doesn't want to talk about it, doesn't want to acknowledge it. And I feel that there's a third eye thing going on, like an ego thing going on here. Like ego decided that this was good. This was a spiritual advancing technique, let's say. And then it just became imprisoning without really realizing it. And ego is afraid of me opening this up. But I tell ego it's okay, because guess what? It needed to be just like that. You needed to have all your energy balanced just like this. You did everything right, ego. Great job. And now guess what? I'm here because you need your energy to balance to be a little bit different now. So let's shift things a little bit and see what comes next, right? Yeah, ego doesn't have to be defensive. Ego is totally fine. It's like, oh, really? Thank you for acknowledging my brilliant ideas. It's like, of course, ego. Right. Good job. It's not easy to, really kneading the dough here of the crown, because it's just gotten really smaller and smaller and smaller, and it needs, all of these layers need to kind of be molded and shaped into each other. Is that why I'm thinking about Play-Doh? It's just like pushing a little bit of Play-Doh out of these chakras, but really here in the crown it's like white, and it's like we need to knead the dough and mold it all together into a wholeness instead of creating separations. All right, I'm going to go to the front side of your crown now. See why I was attracted to the back side? Because it's like walking through the front door, where crown is anticipating my arrival, Here, see this. Everything is great. If I go in the back door, it's like, okay, now I see what's going on here. It looks like a gorgeous palace from the front side. It's like everything's made out of this amazing pearl with rainbowy type energy and interlaced in it. It's this phenomenal looking. It's like a palace building. It's amazing. Everything is smooth, beautiful to look at. Still feels tight when I walk in, although it really likes to show me how open things are. Hmm. All I'm doing is setting vibrations of harmony and balance and flexibility, breathability. The experience of opening the windows on a spring day, like opening up the house. Letting in the movement, the flow. You know what's great about this is, as I'm doing this energy work for your crown, it's reshaping the energy that's just sort of kind of felt hinged, is starting to circulate in a little bit of a more of a flexible way. It's giving you more freedom. And it's almost like you're moving into another dimension without having to take a single step. And just by this enhancement alone, you feel more relaxed, you feel brighter. And you send really positive vibes to your third eye ego mind energy, and lots of hugs and support. And that's really good too, because it's self-love and support of self without judgment or putting yourself down. Starting to feel brighter, and it's kind of reflecting like your crown chakra, where you're standing now, is full of light, and it's got rainbowy energy, and it feels a lot more open and more breathable, like fresh spring air flowing through a house that had been kind of cooped up and closed up for the winter, you know? Yeah, that's a lot better. Thank you so much for this. Yes, thank you so much. And for everybody watching, thank you also for all your love and support here of my clients and my YouTube channel. I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day.